Aquí estás, debemos mover, te adoraré, te adoraré. Aquí estás, obrando en mí, te adoraré, te adoraré, te amamos. Milagroso, abres caminos, cumples promesas, luz en tinieblas, mi Dios, así eres tú. Milagroso, abres caminos, cumples promesas, luz en tinieblas, mi Dios, así eres tú, así eres tú. 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 Milagroso, abres caminos, cumples promesas, luz en tinieblas, mi Dios, así eres tú. Milagroso, abres caminos, cumples promesas, luz en tinieblas, mi Dios, así eres tú. Aunque no pueda ver, estás sobrando. Aunque no pueda ver, estás sobrando. Siempre estás sobrando. Siempre estás sobrando. Aunque no pueda ver, estás sobrando. Aunque no pueda ver, estás sobrando. Siempre estás sobrando. Siempre estás sobrando. Aunque no puedo ver, estás sobrando. Milagroso, abres caminos, cumples promesas, luz en tinieblas, mi Dios, así eres tú. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are.
And we're live. How's everybody doing on this fantastic Wednesday evening? I'd like to welcome everybody to another episode of Bumper's Wacky Wednesday. And as you can tell, we got a little mixture of everything going on. We have people in the studio. We have people remoted in from all over the state of Texas. And I could not wait for today. I could not wait for today just because you have some powerful women on the show this evening.
Thanks. Thank you.
I'm speechless. Oh my God.
First, I would like to welcome you guys to Wacky Wednesday. I know the name always throws people off, like, dang, what the hell is wacky about a bunch of Tejanas Unidas, right?
What is it?
But you know, it's just something I started, you know, already going on a couple of years, and it's just been growing. And I'm just, again, I have legends on the air, legends in the studio, and future legends. I want to start off by saying, who's my Austinite?
That's me. I'm Stephanie. Hi.
Yeah. So Stephanie, I saw the video of Stephanie when you guys are doing the shoot down in the valley or in South Padre, right?
South Padre, yes.
South Padre, and she started freaking out because Shelly Lares walked in the door. And I
I
was
had
just,
never met her.
dude. But that just goes to show you, you know, the amount of women that you guys had, and just a different variety of women throughout our genre was it's just amazing, dude. It gives me the chills on my arms when I saw the video. Like, I had an insider over there, so I was getting little pictures here and there, like, hey, we're working on this thing, blah blah. I'm like, dude, this thing is gonna be sweet. And then somebody sent me like I guess when y'all are on the beach and like just a sky, like the sky like from up high looking down, and I was just like, man, wow, this is gonna be cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wacky Wednesday. I'm gonna let all the ladies introduce themselves, starting with my two here in the studio.
I am Alyssa Torres. I usually say, I'm from Iowa, but I've been here 13 years now, so I think it's safe to say that I'm from San Antonio.
Does your license say San Antonio?
It does. So
Then yeah, you're from San Antonio.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Valadez. My married name is Rebecca Grande Valadez. Just another singer like all my friends here. We're humble in music, but great in the power when we come together.
I got you. And then starting on the top.
Oh, I'm on the top. Yes. Hi, I'm Stephanie Bergara. I sing lead vocals in a Selena tribute band called Bitty Bitty Banda, and I, grew up listening to Selena and Shelly Lares and Nelida, just like every other girl like me from Texas. And we've been playing for about 8 years this year, and I was super humbled and honored to be a part of this project. And I really did cry when I saw Shelly Lares walk through the door for the first time. That was real tears.
It's no BS.
I'm not that ugly,
There's a
Stephanie.
video out there. There's a video out there. She was
There's a
literally
video,
in
yes.
shock.
I was in shock.
And then underneath you,
Underneath 70s Genyva, I'm the founder of the Tejanas, Unidas, and Christo collaboration, and I am super honored and blessed to, have worked alongside all these amazingly talented artists. And this has been something spiritual, and it's a supernatural experience. That's all I can say. It's God has orchestrated all this, and I was just the vessel He used to put it together. And I'm truly, truly, honored to have collaborated with all these amazing women.
awesome. And then underneath you,
Shelly.
Am I underneath Genyva?
There's a story of a girl named Shelly.
You're underneath me, Shell.
oh my God.
This industry. I'll celebrate, and just super honored to first of all glorify God's name, first and foremost in music, which is something my sisters can obviously agree with. And thanks to Genyva for making this magical blessing, like she said, being the vessel for all of us women. And it is not an easy thing to get 25 women together, because most are moms. And hats off to all my mamas out there, because man, it is not easy. Yeah. So I mean, I'm just honored to be here back with you, Bumper. Thanks for having us all on your show, man. Well, not all of us, but they're here with us in spirit.
Yeah. But Shelly, no, thank you. Yes, it is your second time on Wacky Wednesday, and you gracious with your beautiful presence. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
And on the bottom,
Hey, it's me, Anjelique, from Sweet City Band, tuning in from West Texas, all the way over here on the west side of Texas. And, and like Shelly was saying, I'm just going to piggyback off of what she's saying is this group of women, it's a sisterhood, okay? And me being from way over here, I don't get to participate as much as I would like to, because it's a big drive for me. But just being, when I heard Genyva first talk about it, I was like, I want to be involved in this project. This is going to be an amazing, wonderful project and experience. And like I said, hats off to Genyva, because my husband says all the time, because he manages our group, he's like, man, I would have done quit like 10 million times doing what Genyva was trying to pull off.
Well, you know
No,
what, ladies?
thank God everything flowed so beautifully and easily. I believe.
You guys pulled it off, though. Definitely pulled it off. And if you're just joining us, and yes, Bumper is in the room with beautiful ladies. He's got beautiful ladies in the, remoted in. And it's awkward being the only guy, man. Like I'm just gonna throw it's the elephant in the room. I'm gonna just throw that out there right away. Like
no, but you know what, Bumper? The funny thing is that like I know us that tour regularly. We have our band with us. We're like one of the guys. I mean, I know I am anyway. I'm not trying to be gross, but we've smelled just about everything and heard just about everything on the road when it comes to yeah. So
yeah, they don't care. They don't care.
oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, they just let it rip, and that with all the different.
Wow, Genyva, if you can move your camera just a little bit like up higher, because
Yeah,
it's
I was
cutting you off.
trying to do, but it keeps like it goes up like. Is that better?
It's like my mic
you look
stands.
good.
Don't worry. It's good like my mic stands.
Give us some Viagra, girl.
Right now,
Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Tejanas Uni.
This is a TV show, guys. TV.
We share everything with each other.
Oh my goodness, man. So you know, I was telling my family I was actually in Florida for the long weekend. I just flew back in last night, and I was telling my family over there, like, you guys really don't understand the magnitude that, you know, you guys putting this together. My wife's family's from Homestead, and Tejano music is huge in Homestead. Homestead, you know, Southern Florida, it's a big hotbed for Tejano music. And, you know, they grew up listening to, you know, to all the artists. And I was trying to explain to them, like, Tejanos Unidas. I showed them the video, and they're like, man, my thing is, how in the hell did they get 25 women to stop what they're doing? Nobody had a gig. Nobody had, like, 25 to get 25 people all on the same sheet of music.
How did you do it, Genyva?
Genyva, how did you do that?
What's your secret, Genyva?
Well, we had to do 3 separate studio sessions because the music was recorded in Mexico, and so we sent the tracks over to Freddie Records, and we recorded in 3 different groups. So it was amazing because we had a musical director that helped us all learn our parts. You know, shout out to Angel and Christine Phillips. They were amazing in the studio. You know, because it's you know, a lot of people have a misconception. They think, oh, well, you all are just gonna all sing together. No, like everybody has to be in the same key. You know, we had to, you know, we were doing like 3-part harmonies. So, you know, it was a process, but it all worked out. It just flowed so easily. Everybody sounded like angels. And, you know, they got to prepare, you know, before they went into the studio, the music director went over their parts on the piano. So, I mean, girls, you guys had like was it a fun experience for you guys, or did you feel like, you know, pressure? Like, what do you, I mean,
No,
I
think that was the most miraculous thing about that whole project was every time we went somewhere, Genyva like took care of everybody, like as if we were all her little daughters. She helped us get dressed. She helped us. We helped each other with our eyelashes. You know, she had catering there for us, and they actually decorated the room. So you always felt like you were a part of this moment in time, not just, oh, we're just going to meet at the recording studio and sing. No, Genyva made it something way bigger than that, and it helped. Not that it helped, but it fueled that I guess sense of importance of what we were doing. You know, she made it very professional and just quaint, and kudos to you, because I would have been like, here, some coupons to the pizza place down the street. Hope you make it back alive.
So Genyva, let me ask this: when you guys, okay, so the recording studio, that's easy to
yes,
round
we
up.
can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, Sarah.
Is she on there?
Are we good?
I could.
We can hear you, but we can't see you. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Sarah.
Sarah.
I think you need to. Oh, you have your video on? We can hear Sarah Monique. She's with us, but we can't
I
see
can
you.
hear you.
Did she call in?
Sarah.
I don't know.
Sarah, did you click on the link?
You have to set. You have to
Yeah,
set your
I'll
camera.
take that. I'll take that.
Yeah,
No,
but
I'll
I
take
can
that.
only have 5 feeds. I think that's what it is.
Oh,
I think that's what it is. Hold
20
on.
is gonna have to go.
No.
we can introduce.
Yeah, that's what it is. Let's see.
But
I'm sorry.
Sarah Monique is with us right now.
Sarah,
You
I'm
wasted
sorry.
it.
Aw.
No, don't sit on my lap.
So where I was going with the question was, like, it's easy to get all the girls inside the studio to do their music part. That's very easily controllable in a sense, right? Because you guys did it in a group. But when I seen you guys out doing the video shoot, holy cow! How in the heck did, like, makeup, wardrobe, like how long was that process?
Hours.
Like an hour.
No.
Hour
Yeah,
and
we
a
were
half.
there
feel like
for
we were
like
there
about
forever.
2.5 hours.
Yeah,
Wait,
Genyva was going to have a
Jules.
makeup artist there, and for whatever reason, her schedule didn't align, and so she never showed. And I didn't bring any makeup whatsoever because I was like, oh, I'm going to pay a makeup artist. But luckily, Alyssa had a friend, Alyssa Torres, who's a part of the group, had a friend who just so happened to be a makeup artist who had come to help her, and she's like, oh, I'll help you,
And
so
Christina
I
was
paid
doing
her, and I
makeup
was
too,
like, oh, yeah,
right? Yeah.
Christina was doing.
And
and
we
so
were
it
all
was like
helping each
this
other. I'm like, you
sense
don't
of
want help from me though. I
sisterhood.
mean, look at these eyebrows.
We
But
all just helped
but
each
yeah,
other,
other
and it was
people
really
helped each other.
nice.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was like a
I can't
party
say
with all the girls too.
I'm spoiled that me as a makeup artist, so I'm spoiled. I already had I
I
would
was
have looked
gonna
totally
Shelly's
different
a
if I had done
brat.
it myself.
I was gonna
I had to do
say
my
that.
own makeup too.
Yeah.
Hey, Shelly, did you let her help other girls, or she was just like, hey, you're only doing my makeup and that's it?
Oh no! I mean, she's allowed to do. I don't tell her who to work with. But by the time we got there, the girls were already like almost done and looking beautiful, you know. But that's one of the things that in working in the industry, work with those or photographers, you know, they need to understand a female artist. It's not because we're being divas. It takes longer process for girls. You know, we
You
have to
need different things.
allow for makeup.
You're being divas.
It's a totally different thing.
Hey, good things
It's
are
a
worth
totally
waiting for. That's all I got.
Some people look
Actually-
like really different. I always say like I catfish people because
Yeah.
how I look
I'm a total
on
catfish.
a regular basis is not like how I look on posters
business
and
now.
stuff because it's like professional makeup.
And then the other thing, Genyva, the other thing that was crazy was, I think you gave the ladies, you can wear whatever you want as long as it's all white, right? And
Yes.
you didn't have one single person wear like off-white, like, or
No.
their own thing. Like, they literally.
Told us we couldn't.
Yeah, she told us.
Yeah, she was like white.
So
White
hats
shell.
off to you for that, because everybody was literally in bright white, like it was white, like there was no like, that could be kind of bone color. I don't know.
What I thought was really
It's 'cause
cool
it
is
had to
everybody
be-
had
pulled
their
it
own
off.
like sense of
Bumper, it's
style.
because it had to be exactly the way God put it in my vision. If not, it wouldn't have worked. You know, that's
So Genyva, let me ask you about this vision. You know, people see you guys in your own platform, right? In your own right. All you guys, you guys have your own stuff going on.
No.
But you had this vision to bring them on, right? Talk about that vision.
well. See, like well, I can say that 95% of the girls that are on this project, I had some type of relationship with them. You know, like either like for example, Shelly. You know, she was my biggest inspiration. You know, she's actually the person that inspired me to want to do Tejano music. You know, a couple of the girls that are on the project are also amazingly talented girls that I felt have never been given an opportunity in music. They've never had support. You know, they've never, they've just never had support. And I just felt, you know, they were perfect for it. And, you know, I was going through a really dark time in my life. I was, you know, in the brink of suicide one night, and God made me realize that I did have a purpose. And 2 days later, you know, I was outside my house feeling exactly the same, you know, like I had no purpose, I had no, like in other words, I wouldn't be missed. Like, I don't know, it was just, I say the devil just messing with my mind, making me feel worthless. And my phone started playing by itself, and this song started playing, and I started crying, and I knew that God had given me an assignment. And when I was there praying, I was literally, you know, what you see in the video is what God was showing me. And I was in tears. And that same night, I started messaging the girls one by one, like, hey, you know, I'm gonna do this. Do you want to be a part of it? You know, and a whole year went by, right, guys, before we actually started recording. Like Rebecca, you know, she told me, she's like, I didn't even think it was ever gonna happen, but
Yeah,
you know, God
I always say yes, but I was like, she's not gonna do it. Listen, let's just see what happens. Let's just see. I'm gonna say yes, see what happens, and then she's like, "Oh, we're gonna do it." I said, "Oh, okay, all right, we're gonna do it." Okay.
Angelique, do you remember that phone call?
I do actually. It was a little different with me and Genyva because I
yes.
had never met Genyva. I was watching one of her interviews one day, and I don't know what radio station she was at, but her story, no lie, y'all, it kind of brought me to tears, and I want to cry thinking about it now. But it gave me chills, the words that were just coming out of her mouth, and I felt like God was speaking to me, like, reach out to this artist and, you know, see what this project is about. And so, you know, I reached out to Genyva, and then from there, you know, it was all go. And I'm glad it happened because I've met some amazing women since then. And I feel connected. You know, I feel like I have a connection, a mutual connection that was missing for me because being a female artist, you're all alone out there on the road. It's just you and a bunch of guys, like Shelly was saying. And so to sit there and just watch, I'm kind of a watcher. I don't talk a lot, really. And just to watch how we've all experienced the same things, you know, on the stage and on the road and being moms, like Shelly was saying. So that, you know, that's kind of how my story worked with Genyva, and definitely hands down one of the best experiences I've ever had. In the studio, you were asking about how it was when we were recording. I've never had so many chills on my arms and legs. Man, I shaved that morning. By the end of the evening, my hairs grew back. So those of you know what I'm talking about. But, you know,
those are serious chills.
Serious chills.
I call it a divine appointment. That's what I call it, because when Angelique reached out to me, I remember I was actually in Victoria. I was at the studio. I was with the radio station in Victoria with Lilo. Shout out to Lilo. And when she reached out to me, I'm not kidding you, like an hour before that, somebody had backed out on the project. And I just knew at that moment, because that spot was meant for her. You know, same thing with Stephanie. You know, right before her and I ended up on a call together, like I was just calling the music department in Austin, and Stephanie just happened to answer the phone, you know?
Yeah,
And
I answered the
so
phone.
it was
I was
God.
like, hey, I also sing, but this is exciting and congratulations. And this is the right way to go. Sorry, this is also, this is relevant to the story. Because of this small child, I was actually the last person to record. And it's interesting to be on a project with 25 people because I've actually never met Angelique. She recorded on a different day, and the music video stuff happened on a different day. But it's so funny, to your point, you spent all this time with men, and even though I'd never met Angelique, we follow each other on Instagram. I'm like, oh, I can relate to this person 100%. She's going through exactly what I'm going through. She's traveling the roads of Texas, just like me, just like Shelly, just like all these other women with all men who, don't really understand that. Yes, I do need more time to get ready than you do. Yes, I do need more time to put on these.
I need toilet paper for this to go down.
Yeah,
I can't just jiggle and walk away. I need the paper.
Man, but it's still so amazing that you guys pulled this song off. And Waymaker, the song is an amazing song. myself, me and my family, we attend St. Paul Catholic Church here in San Antonio, and you see Shelly raising her hand. She's and all the way to 8th grade.
I'm a
I
St.
believe.
Paul Royal.
She's a St. Paul Royal, yeah. So and we're heavily involved like in Acts, you know, and I'm just bringing that up because this is the music that you'll hear, you know, what I mean, like this, and for you guys to bring a little Tejano flavor, a Spanish thing to that song. To me, it if when they're gonna play that for women, hear that can relate to the music that they know, right, and they hear voices that they grew up with, and just, you know, in a Spanish version, I think it's just gonna be more like it's just gonna be a stronger.
And not only that, the production value of it. I mean, every detail was. I mean, they did a really great job. Vocally putting it together, it was so professional. It sounds, and I always told myself growing up, because I've been, you know, to California and back and toured through Europe and all that stuff, I always thought that San Antonio, the sound was like a small town sound. But all the music that I've been hearing lately, Crystal's new music, every girl up there, it has this modern feel to it, because the production value just keeps rising and rising the more we learn about our music. But this song was like, man, it belongs on any radio station you can get your hands on. Yeah, it goes everywhere.
And have you guys gotten feedback? Have you guys gotten feedback that it's been played internationally?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's been playing in Mexico. You know, it's really popular right now in Monterrey. There's a radio station that says it's like one of the most requested songs. We have over 130,000 views on YouTube. You know, actually, we have our highest views in
the Philippines, no?
Mexico, and where was it?
The Philippines.
The Philippines.
Philippines.
Yeah.
Oh wow. You know the Philippines, man. Over there, karaoke is huge in the Philippines. Like they won't speak a lick of English to you, but you play a song that they like, and they'll sing it to you beautifully. Real quick shout out to a few people watching. One especially, because she's always promoting the show, and she is a power to be reckoned with over the radio waves for probably 20 plus years, 30 years maybe. Miss Bonnie Hernandez.
Hey, Bonnie!
She's always promoting everybody's stuff. You know what? I don't want to forget this comment. I want to read this comment. I know the girls here. I told them they could see the comments, but they're not coming on over there. This is from Aisha. She's like, it was so wonderful to be a part of this amazing project that brought us all together, music-wise and personal-wise. Love all you ladies. Also made me feel peace with my different obstacles in my life. Thank you, Genyva, for bringing us all together and for putting this all together. All the ladies, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, we love you, Aisha.
And
we love each and every one of the girls. I'm so sorry, Crystal. Crystal messaged me a little bit ago. She was like, "Hey, I didn't get the link. I didn't see that you had put yourself down, Crystal. That's why I didn't send you the link. And I don't know, maybe in a little bit, Steph, maybe you can hang up so that Sarah can come on for a little bit on video, and then maybe we can even call Crystal if it's possible, or like maybe in a little bit after.
Just send me the email, and I will try to somebody would get off, and we'll get somebody on.
And y'all don't forget about Sarah. Sarah's
that's
on
why
there
I said,
too, right?
Yeah, that's why I said we can hang up with one of the girls so Sarah can come on, so you can see her beautiful makeup.
Yes.
I got you.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is a weird thing for me, like just having, you know, this. I don't think I've ever done one like half and half, but there's always a first time for everything. But I want to talk about music, right? You know, this thing that you guys put together, again, was just, it's like, there's no other way to say it but amazing. But every single one of you have your own story and your own struggle to get to where you are. You're in the struggle now. You're just beginning. You're just about to hang up the gloves. I'm not mentioning no names, but you know what I mean? it's amazing to see, like, especially for if anybody's watching, any young female artist is watching out there, like, it is amazing to see the amount of love, like, you know what I mean, like it's crazy, it's freaking, it's nuts. Rick Rick Valderrama, he says hello.
Hey.
Hey.
It's wonderful ladies watching from Anaheim, California. Man, you got people watching from California, Florida. That's pretty cool, man. You guys have fans. You guys have fans. So when I got the names right, and if I could have all 25 ladies, can you imagine 25 Zoom things going live?
That's why I was like, how many can we bring on?
Yeah, we could probably, man. Who had the link and didn't click in? Who did I email?
Well, Sarah was on, but when you had told me 5, I thought we had 5 cameras other than yours, so that's why I told her that we were going to bring her on camera. I didn't know it was 4, like 5 with that one. So the only ones that were available that were listening here.
If she's watching, try to click in again. Try to click in.
Try to click in, Sarah.
I think she's gone.
Click it.
If she's watching, we'll if she comes back on, I'll fix it and we can we'll get everybody. Get everybody back on.
Sarah, are you there?
I don't think she's
Not
there
yet,
anymore.
not yet. Technology.
If we can tag team or tag in and tag out. If one of the girls is ready to hop on and she has the link, I'm happy to switch out.
Okay.
Let me see if I
Steph,
can message
before
her.
you switch out, Steph, let me ask you some questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're an Austinite, and you know that already makes you weird. About it itself.
Always.
Good weird.
But
Always, yes.
In all honesty, like, who has better breakfast tacos?
Oh, there's better breakfast tacos in San Antonio than here.
Hey,
I knew
right
we
answer,
liked
right
you,
answer.
Stephanie.
I went to UT San Antonio. I lived in San Antonio for 2 years before. You know, that's the first time I ever left home for real. I lived in San Antonio. So, and then the first place I ever took my banda outside of Austin was San Antonio. So San Antonio is always going to be very special to me.
Man,
for sure.
Stephanie, you did it backwards. Usually you start in San Antonio, you're like, I'm out of here, I'm going to Austin. And then you come back. She did it backwards.
So I went to UTSA. I went to college. I wanted to be a police officer. And I realized pretty early into college that school was out. School was just not for me. So instead of going to classes, I would like sleep all day and then go watch the mariachi rehearse, the UTSA mariachi rehearse, and just like go to Tejano clubs. And, you know, it really was, although I didn't get a formal education, I did kind of educate myself in, you know, Tejano music in San Antonio. So it's always going to be a special place for me.
I got you. She did come in, but then she got off. Like, I'm waiting.
Yeah, I'm messaging with her right now. She's gonna come in right now.
Okay, cool.
In 2 minutes.
We're waiting for her patiently.
Yeah. So Bumper, a little while ago, you were asking about, you know, where you were talking about how every girl has a story. Yeah. Well, we have a documentary series that's going to be coming out really soon. It's going to be, I believe, 6 episodes. So shout out to Mingo Mariano and Mousy Cervantes for all their hard work capturing all these amazing interviews. There's going to be interviews, in-depth interviews with each one of the girls, behind the scene footage of the whole project, you know, from the recording studio to the presentation of our resolutions from the House of Representatives to the music video, and the final episode will premiere the official music video. And, you know, a shout out to all our sponsors too that help make it possible. I funded about 95% of the project on my own. Thanks to my mother that, you know, I unfortunately I lost her in February, but you know, with a little bit of the money that she left for me, I was able to just make this project the most beautiful that I could. You know, I wanted to treat these girls like the queens that they are. You know, they don't only mean a lot to me, but I know that, you know, to God, He gave them this gift not only to sing to the world, but to glorify Him. And I just wanted to make it the most memorable experience that they've ever had, because, you know, 2 years ago I felt like I had no purpose, and now I feel that this is going to be my legacy. You know, if I never step foot on a stage again, you know, I am going to be remembered as the woman that was able to unite 25 women of La Onda Tejana, icons, girls currently on radio, and the next generation. And this is what I'm going to leave behind for, you know, this is historical. Nothing like this has ever been done before. You know, and, you know, there's been a couple of, you know, just stations per se that haven't really supported it as much. I don't know if it's because it's Christian, but this is the collaboration of the year. I don't care what anybody says. This is the collaboration of the year. And
I would
every
agree
one of
with you
these girls,
100%.
yeah, and every one of these girls deserves the chance. People say that Tejano's dying. Hello, we're 25 women here that just want a chance. So, you know, what's going to happen is if they don't support these women and their art, they're going to look for other genres, or they're just going to quit. You know, so that's not, you know, it's not only showing unity amongst Tejanas. This is bringing hope to the world, and, you know, this is bringing, you know, inspiration to the next generation of girls that want to come into La Onda Tejana. And so we don't support them, guess what? You know, they're going to quit, and then we're really not going to have anybody left.
Right. No. I agree with everything that you're saying. You know, the thing is that I have these conversations with people, and you know, the more that I've been doing this show, I've been just get to know and become friends with all different aspects of the music industry. Like, I mean, I had the sound guys in here. When the last time you ever seen an interview with the sound guys?
Never.
But in the room, I had over 200 years of dudes who had been working sound for the legendary groups and bands, and some of you. And, you know, you guys, I'm trying to put it in a broad way. The more I speak to them, it sometimes I get mad and I walk away, and I get angry. And the reason I'm angry is because I'm like, that's not right. Like, the women should be, you know, and not that they're not respected. Like, I don't feel that they're like disrespecting the female artists, but, you know, it'll be a question like, hey, you know what? Like, we really been talking about putting a Chingona Fest together, right? Like a literally a Chingona Fest where we could get 20 female artists, you know what I mean, on one stage, one day, like collaborating. You get, everybody gets an hour set, whatever. We couldn't do an hour set, right? It'd be 25 hours.
I have 24-hour show.
Right,
No,
24
but
hours.
no, but you know what I'm trying to paint a picture here. Like, would people come? Would people come to celebrate, you know, the women of our music, our genre? Would they show up?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, they're actually. Sorry, Rebecca. There is a Chingona Fest, and it's that started in Austin, and, you know, over the last couple of years we've been vacant because of the, you know, pandemic. We haven't been able to book shows, but you know, that was the intention, and I think that this project is so amazing because so many times, I can't speak for the other girls, but so many times I've been made to feel if there's one spot, there's only one spot at one seat at the table for a woman, and that we have to fight each other to get that seat at the table. And I never at any point in the music video or production of this project at all felt that way. You know, Genyva really did make everyone feel like there was a seat at the table for everyone, and that we all could be featured in the same way. Genyva, you know, really did go out of her way to make sure that everyone felt like $1 million that day. I'd never seen so much makeup fly around in one space at one time, like I did
guys,
that day in South Padre.
Patsy Torres is part of this too, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, it's crazy. Shelly, Patsy, like, I mean, all these ladies you guys looked up to growing up, they're there next to you doing the same thing that you're doing, you know? Shelly,
I mean, I would just want to, you know, it's no secret how I've been supporting women for a long time. I have collaborated with all of these women now, and previously with some of them in other projects. With Anjelique and I had an amazing hit together. I've collaborated with Demmi, with Monica, you know, and I produced for Crystal and worked with Rebecca, and so the list goes on. But you know, I understand the frustrations. It's nothing new, okay? I can tell you this. We have been seeing this for years. I just feel that there's so many elements that go into proving to people what we obviously there's a lot of when women and women have actually been for the past 3 years, maybe more. And the women have been consistent. But there is this thing where I tell the girls now, there is so much more utilized than what we had. And imagine before me, Laura, Elsa, it was worse, okay? Because I shared with y'all when I came in this industry, there was only 7 women. That's it. And I was one of the 7. So I think it's going to be a matter of us just doing it. I'm very happy that in August, part of the showcase is going to be Garcia, and to be a female face in Wacky, Wisconsin. So that's going to.
Shelly, you're cutting off a little bit. Are you guys hearing this?
Yeah. She's cutting off a little bit, but I can still make out what she's saying.
You can hear what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, so that's going to be in August. So that idea of having female amazing. Still are producers who consistently throw shows every weekend and don't include a female at all.
Yeah.
You know, in the work of my son, most of the time. So, you know, just kind of what she says when she's anybody else.
Yeah, she is. It keeps. Shell. Who do you is it AT&T or who do we got to call?
Google Fi.
You got Google Fiber, or who you got for internet over there? We're gonna call them up.
I'm sorry.
I bet you got the PlayStation on. Every TV's on Netflix. Everybody's using all their internet and Hulu.
No, I don't. But I think as long as we continue to work hard, and guys, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. I tell the girls this all the time.
Sarah's calling in right now, guys. I'm so sorry. Sarah just messaged me that she's gonna try getting connected.
Okay, yay.
I think the thing that is so miraculous about this whole project is, you know, we were saying we have to fight for that one seat at the table. Well, what Genyva did was she created a new table, and we just have to fight to raise each other up. Basically, is what the struggle is now. It's just to support one another, and I've seen a huge uptick in downloads and just general interest in all the female artists. Because of that support, because where we get behind, you know, every other person, and you post something, I'm going to share that post with as many people as I can.
Yeah.
I just get the word out. And we weren't doing that before because we were pitted against each other. And now that we've come together, we're like, that's my sister, that's my sister, that's my sister, that's my sister.
100%.
And even the ones that I was like, I don't know if I want to be her sister at all, but we all ended up being friends at the end of the day. Yeah. Because there's stuff going out there that's like not true. We're talking crap about each other. It's not. And we realized that when we got together.
But Raza loves that.
I know, I love it. I do, I love
it. They love that stuff. You know what I mean? And drama is just it brings, you know, people love drama. They love. I mean, watch all these real, what do they call those shows? Reality shows. Like it's all about drama. Let me say this though. You know, what all of you guys are saying is what we need the genre to do. Period. For take each other, the male and female out. You know, the artists reaching out there, like Shelly just said, she's done collabs with most of you. Like, that's reaching out your arm saying, you know what? I was once you. Come on. My name's gonna be next to your
Yes.
name. They're gonna hear who you are. We need that. We need that in our music, male and female. We need that because I always say this. You guys keep reporting. You guys keep saying about the table, right? It's true. There is enough. There is enough for people. There is enough room for everybody at the table. There's no reason to knock somebody down and say, hey, you know what? Because you know what? That artist, whoever you are, you once started just like them.
And some of the older artists are still sort of like that, like low key.
No, be real. Be real.
She ain't lying.
Be real.
She's not lying.
But
Yeah.
we have to call them out on that. Be like, man, come on, it's not like 1982 anymore, fool.
Right.
Like I know you still got them same Wrangler pants that you was wearing back in 1982, and they still fit. I don't know how. Okay, but you're gonna have to buy yourself a new pair of pants because this is a new world, and we're here. Get used to it.
So let me ask you girls this, and I'll ask you. What I love about the world that we live in today, and Shelly talked about a little bit, she brought up in a different world, right? Coming up in the music business with only 7 females. But I really think what you said, Rebecca, about you guys helping each other, that's one thing. But y'all are social media, like, you take social media to another level.
It's a lot of work.
But it is. But I'll tell you this.
It's a tool you got to utilize too.
Yes.
It's a tool that you got to utilize.
And you guys do it better. You guys do it better than the males.
That's true. That's true.
You guys do it better than the males.
I see them trying, and I'm like, oh, cute. Should I help
what
them?
Do you think, what do you think about social media and its power?
It's free marketing, so why wouldn't you use it, because it has the power to reach millions at one given time,
Yeah, I
So
noticed
you can
that
push your music, you can push your
when
your
pandemic
events.
hit, we have a bigger audience from the comfort of our living rooms than we had in an actual performance setting, in a live performance setting. We would do it on the internet, and we had Florida, California, Vienna, Austria, wherever, the Philippines, all these people watching at the same time. They never would have come to my show, but here they were, giving you money just so you can sing in your living room during COVID. And I did it, and I liked it, and I ain't going back.
I think is Stephanie still on?
Stephanie,
Yeah, Stephanie's right.
yeah, she's on.
We hear her son mostly.
Sorry.
He's cute.
Sarah, can you hear us?
Again, you see?
I'll let you know in case he says something he's not supposed to.
No,
Sarah,
but you know what?
Sarah.
This is what I'm talking about, Bumper.
I hear you.
About-
See, Sarah, are you down? Can you introduce yourself? We can only see from your nose down.
You have very nice.
Can you see me now?
There you
Very
go.
nice
I wanted
teeth.
y'all to see my mocos. Sorry.
Oh, okay, cool. You want to introduce yourself? You didn't get to introduce yourself.
Sí, claro que sí. Pues I'm Sarah Monique from the Valley, and I've been singing since 2013 professionally. Como todas las muchachas, Dios usó a Genyva, ¿verdad? Estoy muy agradecida que she allowed me to be a part of this this project, and it was just right at the right time, especially because I was going through my journey as far as leaving the secular world and joining and being a part of the new music, which is for Christian music, the gospel industry. And so it was like the perfect timing, when everything came together, because at the time that Genyva invited me to be on this project, my walk with God was slowly beginning. But I had not made that conscious decision of saying goodbye to what I've known forever, which was the Tejano secular music.
Okay. When you say secular music, you're using big words, dude.
Non-Christian music, not faith-based music.
So basically, non-faith-based music. Basically, the way my terms is, I'm no longer singing for the world or the things of this world. I'm singing that praise and worship God.
Got you. Genyva, did you?
Yes.
You knew every single girl, like you had their number, or did you call, like, I'm just gonna use Shelly because I know Shelly, You call Shelly and be like, Shelly, do you know anybody else who'd be interested in this? Is that how it
No,
worked?
no, like I was like I said, 95% of the girls were girls that I just knew were supposed to be part of it. I'm telling you, when I was sitting there praying and crying, I saw the girls. Like I saw them. I don't know how to explain it other than supernatural, but I saw them. Now there was 5 girls that had backed out. Okay, and those were the girls that we replaced with Demmi Garcia and Monica Saldivar. I had never really met them, but I got to know them because of the collaboration that they had done with Shelly. And I spoke with Shelly personally, and I told her like, hey, these spots opened up. Like, what do you think about me inviting Demmi and Monica? And I was actually I had inquired on inviting Sanja too, but I think Sanja had some stuff going on, and uh, she didn't join the project. But Demmi and Monica right away they agreed, and then Stephanie, Bergara, Anjelique, also were girls that it was just divine appointments where these slots opened up, and it just somehow we ended up crossing paths, and I knew that they were the ones that were supposed to be on it.
Yeah.
Everybody else I've met, I've either worked with them, I've either recorded with them or mentored them, or they've been girls that I knew that were amazingly talented and just deserved that shot. And so everybody else, like I said, 95% of the girls I knew. The other ones were just they ended up on the project because it was a spot that was meant for them. It was meant for them.
So for the fans watching, do you think that live Tejano fans would be able to ever hear, let's say, at least 20 out of the 25 sing together?
Like
of
at a
course.
show?
We've got something in the works.
But the question, I'll repeat the question.
Well, I think it would be doable during like a fanfare event when we're all just going to be in town anyways, kind of deal. And like we could do it, right? Let's do it.
So I'm going to rephrase
sleeve.
the question. Will there ever be? Is there a chance that we can see all of you guys sing together?
Tell him, Jenny. Tell him.
Oh, we can. We can.
There's a big chance.
TBA.
Okay,
What's it? TBA.
TBA. That's when you say, like my buddy Cesar when he comes to visit me, Cesar from David Lee. I'll ask him a question. He's like, Bumper, I love that poster on the wall. Like, this is not what I asked you, but yes. I love the poster on the wall. No, that's cool. Speaking of
there definitely is, there is something in the works, God willing, it will come to pass. But like I told the girls, once this documentary comes out, we're looking forward to possibly a Latin Grammy and a Grammy nomination. This is something beautiful, and we, like I said, it doesn't matter if we touch the life of one person or 1,000. The point is that we did this with all our heart, with a lot of sacrifice, so that people can be inspired in their homes. When would you think that Christian music would be played on what they call secular radio? On Tejano radio. Sometimes some of the stations say, well, the song's not Tejano. Well, I understand, but it's Tejano singers that are on the song. Back in the day, it's like, for example, I Could Fall in Love with You. That was not Tejano, and it was played all over Tejano stations. There's a lot of songs that are not, that the genre isn't, or the music style isn't Tejano.
If they're playing country music on some FM Tejano stations, I mean, there's no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, ¿cómo se llama the Palomino Mayor? I want to say.
Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny. I had him and his wife on the show, and he's like, he literally left what he knows for 20 plus years, the music we love. He just said, "Hey, I'm jumping in. Like I'm going in, and this is the music I'm going to bring to you. Like it or leave it.
Yeah.
Here I am." And so again, I think Christian music is not the Christian music that a lot of us grew up with. The Christian music now.
Yeah.
You know, and some of the songs, again, just being real big in the axe community, some of the songs that are out there are just, I mean, you hear them and it's just like, wow. You know, I mean, they hit you and they
Catches your soul.
it catches your
Yeah,
soul.
I would tell you this. I would tell you this, Bumper. When I do my shows, I do "You Say" by Lauren Daigle, and I will be in the bars and I will be at the concert, and people are having a great time or whatever. The moment I start to sing that song, and it always makes me cry, people will stop what they're doing, and you can tell that God is, you know, they're feeling it through the music. And just like Genyva said, if you just reach one person, then that's what God wants. He wants us to not only praise him in the church, he wants us to praise him everywhere. And that's one thing that I think we cannot put that limitation as far as our thought process, that people are not going to accept it, because we're doing it because we're trying to spread a message.
Exactly.
And that's the only reason we did this together, was because of our love for God, our individual relationships with God.
Right. And it shouldn't really be people. I'm surprised that people are surprised that, people like a bunch of Tejano musicians, women musicians doing music like this, because every person, I'm going to assume every woman on this, in this conversation right now has played a Jamaica or two. And usually if you play a Jamaica, there's a Tejano headliner, you know, and you're seeing artists across the music industry, like Casey Musgraves, be considered she was not considered for a country Grammy, and then she was, because her recent album wasn't country enough. And like, you're seeing this conversation start to happen with more frequency, and I think we're going to start to see a big change in the way that people consume music. And you know, because it's like LeBron James, people are fans of LeBron James no matter where he goes. And my hope is that mentality will continue to follow through to music, and with music that people want to make. Like, fans of Genyva will be fans of whatever Genyva does. Same thing with Shelly. Same thing with, all of you. That's what I'm optimistic about, especially as a person who doesn't necessarily make Tejano music as a solo artist. I think that seeing a wave of change would be great, to just be fans of the artist, no matter what they decide to pursue, because it can change.
Right. Genyva, let me ask
And
you
radio
something.
should give every song a chance. It doesn't matter whether, if the artist records a country song, a pop song. I mean, they need to let the audience decide, not have them decide. Put the song in rotation if they request it. Put it on higher rotation. But some just don't want to play it because, it's not Tejano enough, or it just doesn't make any sense.
Let me ask you a question, Genyva. And without mentioning a name, if it has happened, but I just want to ask it as a fan. 25 women are all on a different path. Their faiths are all different. Has there anybody come to you separate, like after doing the project, and say, and I'm sure they all thank you in a certain way, but again, saying that all women are on they have the same faith and they're on the same path. Some are a lot closer to the Lord and some are a lot further away from the Lord. Is there anybody that came to you and was just like, you know what, man, thank you for this, because I needed this. Like, I wasn't right. I wasn't where I wanted to be. And this helped me in a way.
Oh, yeah. But honestly, more than anything, it helped me because I had just freshly lost my mom, and it was just kind of like, it helped me to be able to not think about that so much, and just seeing how these women walked out of the studio different than how they came in is what pulled me out of that depression. And I did have several of them that, that came to me and said, I was so lost, and I felt that through this project, God pulled me out of it. And And there was also times when some of them went through a lot of things while we were doing the project. You know, like my daughters almost got killed in a car accident. You know, I think Stephanie had her son really, really sick. Like we all went through a lot of different things, and some of us like even wanted to quit at times because we felt like, oh, I'm doing this project and I'm getting attacked by the enemy, and all these bad things are happening.
Well, that's what they
Like
say, right? When you're
there
doing
was,
something good for the
yeah.
Lord, the devil attacks, man.
Mm-hmm.
When you're doing something good, he knows when, to see if you pushed you, right? He's pushing you like, hey, are you gonna throw in the towel? Are you gonna quit? Are you gonna, you're already at this moment in time. Are you just gonna say, hey, you know what, I don't want to be involved with this just because I don't want the backlash?
Yeah. And there was times that some of these girls almost weren't going to be in it because things kept getting in the way. And but yeah, there was definitely some of the girls. I think mostly every one of them, I think, has talked to me about how this, changed their lives. And to me, that's the biggest reward is that, that hopefully like I'll hold a place in their heart somewhere, when I'm gone. And because they definitely have a place in mine. So I mean, I love them all. It's like I lost my only brother 6 years ago, so I have no other siblings. And so the way I see it is like I gained 24 new sisters. You know what I mean?
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shelly, and I'm picking on you just because you've been in the Onda for a lot longer than these guys. Has there ever been something even similar to, I could growing. We're gonna show our age right here. You ready, Rebecca? You ready? We Are the World. You remember when We Are the World came out and they had all these artists? Like I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah,
you know
There
what
was
I mean?
a song like that, I believe, when Emilio
we
passed,
we
everybody
did
got together and sang something. Right?
Well, back to 1980, about 1984. Yeah. We did called Somos Tejanos. And it was all Tejano artists, male and female. And it was.
Do you remember how many it was, Shell?
Oh man, that I don't know. I was like in 6th grade, so
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember.
But was it more than 25, you think?
I wouldn't say more than 25. I mean,
Yeah.
I have a picture of it somewhere, so I'll have to. I wish
Go
I could have
count
found it.
it.
I could have shared it with y'all. Yeah, I'll find it. But I don't think it was 25. But that's kind of the closest to a group effort in Tejano, I guess, if you will, that this has been done. But by no means, all female. Not this many. I mean, not the first female project, but.
Are we going to be offended when 25 men get together and sing?
Hey,
no.
I'd love to see it. Make it happen, Captain. Ain't no stopping.
Can you imagine 25
The other time I
men
was praying and
egos?
I was like, God, please.
I think they would
Yeah.
just
Christo.
but wouldn't be able to get any work done because they'd be partying. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's fine. Okay, it's time to settle down now. Time to record.
Right.
Okay, settle down.
Yeah.
Settle down. Okay.
And Anjelique, let me ask you. Before you took on this project, put you on the spot just because you're on the top. I used to be a rapper.
Waka, waka, waka.
Used to be.
Where were you? Where were you in your journey, your faith journey, when this project landed on your lap?
I don't want to say lost, but confused. You had the COVID. We won the. Here's my story, a little bit of my story. So in 2019, we won 2 of the Tejano Music Awards, Best New Female and Best New Group. And we were like, 2020 is going to be our year. People were calling us and we were excited. And then COVID hit. I remember our last show was in February and everything got shut down in March. Angry. I was angry. I was like, God, not that we were chasing this award for 30 years, but I've been doing this for several years, since 14. And so I was angry. I felt confused, because I know God is a good God. But then once I started thinking, that's so trivial. I'm being, I'm being selfish. There's people dying right now, and So I felt like it kind of set me back on the realistic of we're not in control. There's only one person that's in control, and that's, God. And so Waymaker, I have a lot of friends over here in West Texas. They don't speak Spanish, and they're gringos, and they'll be like, I don't know a lot of your music, but it sounds good, and I'm teaching them what the Tejano is, etc. Heard this song, and then they were like, "That's Waymaker," and I was like, "It sure is." They were like, "That is." I don't, I don't know what each word means,
But they could
but I
feel
know
it.
what the song is about. They
They
could
could feel
feel
it.
it, and
Yeah.
right. So I thought this song, it was just meant to be. This is what God wanted, and so I've kind of since then just thought, I'm gonna let just things fall into place the way they should, and just because that's the way it's meant to be. Like kind of Genyva was saying earlier, what she called it, an appointment, a divine appointment. I like that. And that's kind of what I've done. I've just settled and just let things happen. And once I started doing that, I just felt more at peace and success, confident in myself, and confident that am I doing the right thing? You're talking about social media earlier. It's a tool, but it can be your downfall as well. You got to be careful,
I think people
and
paint a
you want to
beautiful
be
picture
positive.
on social media, right? Like
Yeah.
it's always the beautiful picture. Like you don't ever post, like you might post you're having a bad day, but you don't post your bad day
Yeah.
on social media. You know what I'm saying? So where
No.
were you? So where were you in your journey? I mean, the, I guess like how I'm trying to put it is like, there's people who are very religious and there's some people who are just, hey, I believe in God, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I believe that there's life after death, and they leave it at that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I'm a very spiritual person. I went to Catholic school all the way up to eighth grade, and then I had too much because the kids weren't so nice, and I felt like they're not really living the
The
word.
message.
And
Yeah.
so
Right.
I went to public school, and my grandma, raised us in the church and took us every Sunday, and was just, she still is, very, very religious. And so I've always had a lot of faith, even in my weak times where I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can keep going. And so that's one thing that has always kind of gotten me through, my faith. And so it makes me emotional. I'm not going to cry. And so there's this quote where they say, like, Mija, your grandma's prayers got you. And I've always kind of believed that, because even when I'm at my lowest of lows, I know she's raised me to be, a person of big faith. And I know no matter what, God's got us.
And you know what what you're saying, if you can tell, if you ever watch any of my shows, like one of my biggest, not pet peeves, but one of my things that I always like to talk about is our culture. And I think, religion is a big part of our culture, whether you think so or not. And it doesn't have to be, I mean, not a certain religion. It's just, faith. It's part of who we are. Like, I mean, when you think about your grandparents, like, lighting a candle, or, whatever they do, drawing you to church on Wednesdays, on Fridays, on, if you just went on Sundays, it's part of who we are, right? It's the way we grew up. And, you guys represent a genre of music where honestly, like, it's about drinking, and, it's not always good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Being in love, leaving somebody, whatever the case may be. But you guys came together and you put a religious song like Waymaker together in Spanish. Now, Genyva, was a song ever already done in Spanish? Like, has somebody already done it, a Spanish version of it?
Well, not in our genre, but I mean, there's been several like church choirs that have recorded it and put it out like on social media. I think on iTunes there's like three other like choirs that did it, but not our version that we did it in Spanish and then did a verse in English. So it's considered like a bilingual version. Of course, we didn't do all the verses in English and Spanish, but we threw in at the end of the song the English verse so that people could know, like, hey, let me just look up the lyrics for Waymaker and I'll know what the song is saying,
But how hard is that,
But
dude?
I
Like
think
to switch a song from English to Spanish, that's not easy. Like you can't like you take an English song for anybody for fans that are watching. You take an English song, look at the lyrics, copy and paste the lyrics, put them into a Spanish translator, and you'd be like, "There's no way in hell I could sing this song and make it go together." But people, but you guys did it, and it sounds badass. I had to throw. Sorry, Genyva. I had to back up a little bit. It sounds badass. Like it really does. Like it's awesome.
I mean, and the words are just so beautiful because it's uplifting. It's food for the broken. It's food for the soul. This song. It's just there's times that I'm just having like a bad day, and I just put it on, and you feel the Holy Spirit in it. Like you just feel the Holy Spirit, and it just brightens your day, and that's what we want to transmit.
And one of the things that, I think as far as artists, as musicians, as vocalists, when I know for me, and I'm sure my sisters feel the same way, when you express yourself through music, it's a totally different level. But when you express yourself through music, glorifying God's name, I get emotional every time I sing and I glorify God, only because I feel so much love, and there's times where I can actually just feel his arms around me when I'm singing it. And, this is one of the reasons why in ending, or finishing up my career this year in Tejano, my last album is going to be a Christian album, because that is not for anybody else. It's my ultimate gift to God.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for blessing me and providing for my family for 40 years and allowing me to do this. And some of my sisters that are on here are going to be on my Christian album. So I'm like so excited and so ready and so inspired by Genyva and by Sarah, because Sarah Monique now is glorifying God through her with her beautiful voice, and it's just so inspiring to see that and hear it. I mean, it's amazing.
I
Absolutely.
again, just the fact that all of you guys. So before I say that comment, I'll probably forget that comment. How, Genyva, did you pick 25 powerful voices, 25 powerful women? Did you just like draw a name in the cap and be like,
no?
Okay, wait,
I'm
let me
telling
finish.
you,
Let me
God
finish.
showed
No,
it
let
to
me
me.
not the ladies. We already talked about how you got the ladies. Not all ladies can do a part by themselves. Like you're not gonna have 25. What do you call it when you sing by yourself?
Soloists.
Yeah, you're not
Solo
gonna have
artist.
25 solo parts. You know what I mean? How did you pick that?
No, well, they each recorded first, second, and third. If they didn't know how to do harmonies, they learned that day.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I know, like, so again, I was the last person to record. I did feel a little bit of extra pressure when I went in because the song was already so much of it was already done, and Genyva had really great and specific direction on what she wanted me specifically to do. But I definitely felt the pressure because I knew that 24 other people had come in and done the parts already, and Genyva's literally stood next to me and sang what she wanted me to sing, and we were talking. We did our recording in Corpus Christi, and it was so helpful to me for Genyva to know exactly what she wanted from me. And we went in there, and I just saw I was walking out of the recording booth. I saw Genyva kind of just like drop her shoulders and like be like, okay,
I was like,
that's it. Yeah.
see, because
I think
the first,
everybody that day though felt like nervous. You had so many different girls, so many different types of voices and personalities coming together, and you know, some of them have been used to being in the studios a long time. Some of them not. I know I got all, I felt the pressure. Like even Genyva was in there. No, like let's do it like this, and I have it down, and then when I do it, I freak out, and I think everybody felt that way, Steph. So
Yeah.
you're not the only one.
I was like, oh no, Genyva's gonna kick me off the project. I can't sing what she wants me to sing.
No, the great thing is, like I said, the music director, Christine, you know, she guided everyone. Like, for example, if they were gonna do like the harmony, she would sing the part and then they would practice it together because we recorded in groups. Okay, so we had like, you know, I think what the first time was what, like 7 girls like at a time. And so they would each do their part and they'd sing it together and we'd record it. And then we'd bring in the next group of girls and they'd sing the first, second, and third, you know. And so everybody was directed by Christine, and so it made it just so much like less pressure on everyone, I think.
Christine she was amazing. The director, she was phenomenal. Her voice, which I'm glad Genyva decided to like, because she was directing us, but she was singing with us.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard her singing, I was like, oh my gosh, this woman, she sings beautifully. And so I'm glad that she was also adding to the choir of, she was number 26.
No, she was 25.
Or 25, yeah, there you go.
But you know what, Genyva, the best thing you could have done for this project was add Christine, because it's like he was saying, it's hard. We would have been lost. So
or we would have taken up like 50 hours of studio time.
Yeah, it was nice to yield one's like a creative, like we're all solo artists. We all sort of half produce our own stuff. You know, we're used to taking the reins on a lot of things. So for all of us to be in one room and be like, we're listening to her and what she says, that took a lot of the pressure off of us, I think, and made it so much more fun, because it was more like, we're just our girlfriends hanging out, singing for the Lord. What do you need us to do? Okay, we did it. And then it was done. And then we could party afterwards. It was the best experience ever.
So when you said you came out of pocket, Genyva, for this thing, did that include the what do they call that when they bring the food? I'm having a brain fart. Did it include the catering after the video shoot?
Well, actually, during the video shoot, we had Carla's catering. You know, when I say that God helped provide for this too, you know, I had a budget for food, right? Like I had already set aside money for the venue, for the food, for, you know, we had also sprinters that took the girls from the bay to the beach, you know. So I had money set aside for that, and like last minute, like the caterers like, no, I'm gonna donate the food. You know, we had like huge discounts and stuff because they wanted to plant their seed. You know, we had, you know, thanks to Jim Tayback also. He's a huge supporter of Tejanas, Unidas, and Christo. He's been a sponsor. Like he sponsored the blankets that I gave the girls at the movie premiere, because we did a private viewing of the project. And so we ended up, like I said, instead of it being a 2-hour movie, we converted it into a series, because there's just so much amazing content that we couldn't leave anything out, you know? And so that's something amazing that's coming up. Hopefully, you know, within the next 2 months. We pushed it forward a little bit because we had to, you know, I'm working with Mingo Mariano to re-edit some stuff that some of the girls wanted to change. You know, we wanted everybody to be happy with their interviews, and it's just been an amazing experience, and I can't wait for that movie to come out, or that series to come out, because you guys will be able to know everything.
When you say series, it's not going to be like one long documentary. It's going to be
episodes.
Like episodes.
No, it's going to have episodes. It's going to be 6 episodes. There's going to be 5 girls per episode.
But tell me that the episodes are going to, like you guys did it after the video shoot. There's other parts, right?
We videotaped the whole process from beginning to end. So that's the footage that you're going to see. And on top of that, we each did individual interviews talking about, where our relationship is with God currently, or how do we come to find the Lord. And we all do these individual interviews, and people were very open and candid and vulnerable. And I don't know of not one girl didn't cry. I think we all were in tears when we walked out of that.
I have
room.
to stop you in your tracks, Rebecca.
Well, I didn't do it.
As everybody gets really
Yeah, you
really
did.
quiet, right?
I didn't do it.
I can't wait to see you vulnerable in that interview.
Oh no, I made people laugh even in my
She
Whoops.
cracks some jokes.
I can't help it. It's a defense mechanism. I can't help.
Yeah, if y'all know Rebecca, this is when you get to really know her and you're around her. Like her, I just one of her making you laugh is definitely a gift. But it's also, like she said, she doesn't really like for people to see her in that state. I mean, who really would? Who?
I don't want you
Or
to see
whatever.
me in my natural
But
state.
yeah, but
I'm a
but
raptor.
you know, but
Sorry.
underestimates her strength so much. She really, really, and I think this project on a personal level, friend to my, I think Rebecca needed this project to really not validate, but to really, Rebecca is freaking phenomenal. I'm sure my sisters can agree with me.
Right.
And so, I think we all needed it, but it's so weird how, like, Genyva stays in my mind that was she was not just for all of us, for this project to work in some way for each of us.
Right.
Bumper, if you give me an opportunity, I'd like to take a minute to mention all the other girls that were able to get connected that are part of the project.
Hey, real quick,
I'm gonna pull up our-
which one of you are not using headphones?
I think some are just more sensitive.
Who? Everybody has headphones, right?
I have them. I mean, I took it off here because I can hear you guys through here.
Okay.
It's Genyva.
It's
I have them right here. I've had it like this the whole time.
Maybe these are too loud.
Yeah, you want me to turn them
Are
down?
my headphones too loud?
No, I mean, because I can.
The echo,
I'm
right?
deaf.
The echo.
No, you can hear more than anything. You the room for the direct audio.
I got you. Go ahead, Genyva.
So, can you hear me or no?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we can hear you.
Like too loud? Okay, so we had Patsy Torres, Vee González, Monica Saldivar, Aisha. We had Anikka Garza. We also had Savannah Votion, Magali Delarosa. We had Cristina Salinas, Alyssa Torres, Marie, Machy De La Garza, Marisela Hernandez, Cortney, Demmi Garcia, Margarita, Perla Quintanilla, Cristo Vallejo, and Christine Phillips. So I wanted to also mention them. Thank you so much for being part of this collaboration.
Hey, when you
And Monica too.
when you said Margarita, are you talking the Margarita like
Yes.
for real?
Yes.
Dude,
Cuando me miro en tus ojos, pienso que me quieres. Cuando sonríes conmigo. That Margarita.
That's one of me and my wife's, like, one of our favorite artists, and we just like, I don't know where if she's around.
You gotta have her on your show, Bumper.
We can get her on here.
Man,
Yeah.
I for some reason I just remember her being. Is she tall?
Well, to me, she is, but
I'm with you, Crystal. I'm like,
Everybody's taller than
Oh man, no, I remember I was stationed in Florida, and she used to come a lot to Tampa, to the Central Florida area. We used to catch her all the time, and when you said her name, it just clicked. Like, wow, that's Margarita. Like,
That's my sister.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Do you guys? I want to talk before we let everybody go. I want to talk about and we're gonna go off subject a little bit, Genyva, because it's Wacky Wednesday and that's what we do. You guys talked a little bit about being a female artist, and I've had Shelly on here before, and she expressed what she went through, and how hard it is, and Shelly, either I read it or I heard it, I don't know, one of the two, but you talked about leaving the genre better than the way you found it, and do you remember saying that, or somebody reporting that?
Yeah.
And when I heard that, it really hit me like Shelly Lares is leaving Tejano music. Like,
better not.
you know,
better not.
I know she's still gonna have her antennas out there, and still have her influence, some way, somehow. But with that being said, it's just amazing for you to say something like that. Like, it's literally, we always say in the Marine Corps, like, anywhere we go, we're gonna leave the place better than the way we found it, right? Whether it's excuse my language, whether it's a shithole or what do you call it, we're gonna leave it better than the way we showed up. And when I heard you say that, it hit me like that. Like, man, you know what? Can you imagine being a young female artist with only 5 or 6 other artists that you could relate to in any sense, and stick around for so many years? It's nuts, But I'm glad that you said that, because that really for me as a fan, you care about you guys. You care about your fellow artists.
About the. I know I vouch for the girls a whole lot, because I get very, like, it's personal to me when they talk about the girls, any of the girls. I'm going to be the big sister or the mom in this case, to some of these girls. And one of the things that, like you mentioned, I know that the future of Tejano music, as far as the women, is in great hands. I know that. And I'm happy that most of these girls are around the same age. There's a few that are closer, that are younger, closer in age. Because, Selena was my bud, and because we were the same age. And out of the 7, that was the only one that I had the most in common with. So I think it's amazing that now I tell these girls all the time, and I talk to them on a personal level often. Just like Rebecca said, they're getting better at supporting each other. And I think that's amazing. I mean, with my sisters that, that were after me, like, but are still longer than most. Of course, Patsy Torres was my mentor. But Elida and Steph came along and are still here. They will support. I think Steph will more than Elle does. Elle's very reserved. She's more to herself. And a lot of people misinterpret that. But she's not as vocal about, supporting other artists or other female artists. It doesn't mean that she doesn't, but she just has a different way of going about it. But me, I mean, I'm a big fan of all the girls on here. And I believe in them so much. And I know for a fact that they're gonna, if they do it together, and like you said, Bumper, you said it yourself, everybody's different. I made a post the other day on my Motivational Monday, and I said, the sky is brighter with more than one star.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I mean that with my whole heart. I mean, I do not feel intimidated. I don't look down on any of these women that I've collaborated with. To me, they deserve to be at the top together, all of them.
Shell. Again, since I've been doing Wacky Wednesday and really been focusing on Tejano music and our culture and just music in general, I just really started paying attention to more details, like moving the curtain off the side and kind of looking what's behind the curtain, what's motivating, what's pushing the music, what's changing. And I think, speaking as a fan, the female artists, you guys are not scared to push the envelope, if that makes any sense. Like, I think the men are a little more reserved, when changing stuff. But you guys, I don't know. It's just like, if you guys do it, it's more, I think it's easier accepted. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a guy, like I had Eric Lee on here, and his new stuff was just like, his music was just, it wasn't traditional Tejano music. And I'm not saying that you guys, all of you, don't play traditional Tejano music, but it's just you guys are pushing the envelope, and I like it. And I think as the fans, I say this every week, as fans, we have to be open to that. We have to be open to new music. You have to be open to going to see Rebecca Valadez and she sings an English song, an R&B song. It's okay. It's cool. It's part of growing up here. It's part of who we are. You know what I mean? We grew up on all that music, and I think we get the picture painted about us that we're just stuck in the old times. Like, we're just stuck in the old school. We're stuck in the old school. Well, I think we get that as a fans. We got to do a better job of being open to new music. We have to do it. We have to do a better job of calling the radio stations and saying, "Hey, I want to hear this person. I want to hear that person. Put this." And if they don't got it, get it. Or you know what? I'm not going to listen to your radio station anymore. I'm going to find me a radio station that plays, you know what I'm saying, a Sonia de la Paz. I want a radio station that's going to promote you guys' music. Because, as Shelly was saying, every single one of you in your own right have beautiful music. I mean, you don't just, I don't think Genyva just said that, let me call, so-and-so, and they've never picked up a microphone. You know what I mean? Like, you guys have put in work. Some of you have put in way more work than the others. And I honestly believe, as a fan of Tejano music, that you guys must continue. Like, it's almost like there's people waiting for people, y'all just throw up your hands and be like, we're done with it. Like, we're going to do, the haters. I'm being real. There's people out there probably just saying, hey, you know what? I can't wait till these people just stop. And we want to hear more than 6 songs. You know what I'm saying? Like all the other genres, time, it changes. I had Gabe Garcia here last week, and we were talking about country music and how much that has changed, from traditional country. And yet the people say, I hate the new country music. I like the old country music. If you're a fan.
But I mean, in order for us to grow, we have to evolve.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it was orquesta music. Orquesta. All brass. If I'd have stayed in that time, like throughout my career, I wouldn't have had Soy Tu Amor. I wouldn't have had Ganas de Besarte. I wouldn't have had these songs that went from orquesta to progressive Tejano. And it's just, we evolve, and the new artists bring new ideas. And as veteran artists, as veteran producers, it's our obligation, first and foremost, to our for us to open our artists and help guide them in any shape or form we can. From them, I've recorded Anjelique with Sarah Monique as far as doing, and I learned stuff. I mean, Anjelique brought me out of a very dark time in my life after my father died. That was something that will always mean something to me. So, but we have to evolve. We have to, and a lot of our radio stations are still stuck, and it's frustrating
Shell,
for
but
me even.
the radio station will say, well, we don't play the new music because it doesn't give us
It's not Tejano
right, it's
enough.
not the Hano,
Well,
and we
That's what
lose
they
we
say.
lose listeners, so we're not making money, right? But
Well, I agree with some of it to some extent, because you still have to have good quality music, okay? Because not looking back, but if we're talking about going back to the early 90s, all of our music was very good quality music, all of it. So you have to, as long as you're doing that,
you have
right?
major
I
record
mean,
labels.
you ask everybody, even, well,
Yeah.
they actually, they didn't they hurt us more than they helped us, um but who, if you sit anybody down and say, okay, well, you tell me what Tejano is, exactly what it is, in one word, what is it? In one word, can you define it to one genre?
Nope.
Technically,
Nope.
is it rancheras? Is it cumbias? Is it mariachi? Is it reggaeton? It's all of those, conjunto? It's all of those things. And someone on this in here of Tejanos Unidas have all brought a certain style to our industry. And that's what blows my mind, because it's such a big blessing, because I don't know any other genre that can do that. I don't.
Nah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, you're the one that told me. I want to say I might be wrong, but I think Shelly's the one that told me that Tejano artists, there is like no other. Like they're the best artists because they can play everything. You get an R&B artist and say, "Hey, play some Tejano," and they be like, "Nah, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know what I'm doing."
Nice
Um,
try.
but
Nice
no,
try again.
you're right, Shelly. You know what I mean?
It's funny though, because I'm gonna interrupt real quick, but Tejanos, and I learned this in the industry. It's easier for a Tejano player or musician to jump into any other genre than it is for any other genre to jump into the Tejano. And I'm talking about like those that just play norteño music. They can't get the rhythm to Tejano. They want to play it just norteño. And but you get a Tejano player, and they listen to so much different diversity that they can pick up on anything. And so I learned the hard way when I had a show. I was like, "Oh Lord, this is a banda player," and it threw
Yeah.
off
Oh
the
my
whole.
god.
It threw off the whole thing. But that's how I learned that that diversity, and we're able to pick up just pretty much in anything.
Yeah.
And another thing that
Yeah.
I was gonna bring up, that Shelly, when I reached out to her when I was doing my album of Esta Noche Te Olvido. I was kind of like worried to ask her if she'd be a part of it, because prior to, I had already reached out to a male vocalist, not for that song, but for another song, because we were already working on new music. And right away he turned it down, and I'm not going to mention who it is, but I had already gotten a lot of no's, even by veterans in the industry, and it was all because it sounded different. And Shelly jumped on it, and we did two versions. We did a norteño version, and we did the mariachi version. And surprisingly, I think it was a norteño one that made it on the countdown. I can't recall which one it was.
Yeah.
But it goes back to that we brought in a different sound. Some of us, I say some of us, and even the older generation doesn't want to really jump into it. But you never know what you're gonna get. Whenever you do jump into it, I mean, it could be like a new thing for you too. So
Nah,
don't be afraid.
The
I
Hano
really
people,
think
though, us the Hano, we have roots in all kinds of directions, and that's what makes us so fabulous. And you're talking about different styles. Okay, I have an album coming out later this month, and I'm not scared, but I am nervous because it will. I have a cumbias just straight English. I'm a little nervous because I might lose some fans, but you know
I
what?
like that idea,
I'm
cumbias
hearing.
I
in
like that
English.
too.
I love it so
Well,
Hey,
I
much.
hope so.
I mean, you hear the TikTok people, like you always watch a TikTok where like Hey, I just bought this. I bought this. What do you call it?
But Michael Jackson at the pulga.
At the
Yeah.
pulga, and you get it, and it's going.
But
and then,
the
you know
mix
what?
sounds good,
But
man.
then-
I want to hear the rest of that song. Come on.
Exactly, it grows.
Or like
on
the
you.
norteño version of
Adele,
Adele.
cumbia. And I was like, man, that sounds
Yes.
fresh.
They did Adele.
So
They-
Norteño version.
They do. You know, I'm hoping. You know, that's cool to do a cumbia in English. Okay, cool. I would like
That's
to
exciting.
check that out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know what? I think
Song
that's what our genre needs, man.
Yes,
Because
it does.
we're
Need some
missing.
trailblazers.
I say this every single week. We're missing the 15-year-old kid
Yeah.
to the 25-year-old. If we
Yeah.
find a way to get that 15 to 25-year-old, our genre is gonna rock.
Yeah.
Because right now, from 25 and above,
Even up to 35, dude. I would say to 15 to 35.
God damn, hey, hold up, dude.
Like all of the demographics.
What are you talking about? We need them younger.
Yeah, we don't need it in English. We're gonna do a song in Korean. We're gonna do a song in Japanese.
And you know, I think that parents, you know, as the generations go, that I'll use a plate. The plate just gets, you know, it's not all Mexican anymore. You know, now they've added spaghetti to it, and it's kind of watered it down. And then
There's
you
some
know,
pupusa
something
on the plate.
Yeah, and then it's just going down. And then, you know, with all the music the kids grew up with, and we did too. I mean, we grew up with rock, with heavy metal, with rap, with, you know, so, you know, and to me, it's scary, but I think like heavy metal is gone.
I think so.
I
You
mean,
haven't heard it.
I mean, you listen to a rock station, it's going to be classic rock.
Yeah.
I mean, can any of you give me a rock and roll band right now that's touring right now? A rock and roll band.
Well,
I don't listen
Metallica
to
still,
rock.
but you know that's older
It's
generation.
older, but I'm talking about like somebody, like, you know what I mean? There's not that kind of genre. Is kind of like
Even
that-
the Foo Fighters are old
Yeah.
now.
yeah.
I saw their last music video and I was like, ooh, look at
The swimming one,
I
I
still
didn't.
like
I was like, I don't know about that.
You know, I was talking. You know, I had Gabe Garcia here last week, and he was talking about country. And you know what? He brought something up that was like, it's been not bothering me, but it's just been in the back of my head. Like, that's a good idea.
What was the idea?
You know, the idea is you bring a country flavor, and they've done it before. They've been doing it for years, but make it consistent. They bring a country, you know, say David Lee Garza is going to play. You put Gabe Garcia in front of David Lee Garza, right? Maybe the kids love Gabe Garcia and country music. They follow him. They bring some, you know, 20, 22, 23-year-old kids. They come, they're drinking, they're having a good time. Gabe gets off, and now David Lee's on. Well, they're not going to leave. They're having a good time, right? And that music might grow on them. You know, you're kind of mixing, you're blending
You
the
see,
music.
but I think a lot of the times promoters don't do that type of research. I mean, because
this
in all reality,
promoters are
how
looking
many-
for. They're looking for money.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's exactly my
are.
point, you know. And I speak that because my partner, you know, he does shows, and I'm the one that's whispering in his ear, get this girl or put this girl, you know, do this. And, you know, I remember I was like, I want Shelly in this show. And then he was like, well, and I was like, no, I want Shelly in that show. And that's how it started. And, you know, because I'm like, there's nobody that does their research where, you know, who is it? Like, how many times can you say you sat down and before Genyva put all these 25 girls, how many of those 25 girls did you personally know as far as their music?
Yeah, and that's why I'm trying to tell you. Like, when I had Shelly on here, it bothered me because I've had multiple female artists on the show, and it bothered me because I couldn't name more than 10 females, active females in the genre right now putting music out. I can probably do it now.
Well, I mean,
but
and it's important not only to put out music, but it's easier said than done for you to get out and tour. That is where you start to build your longevity and your stamina in the industry. And because of Sarah Monique's partner, who's a promoter, I want more people like him because he's being open-minded to changing things up as far as the bill. And in turn, these girls that recorded on this song that are maybe not, have never really toured or work every weekend can get the opportunity to get the ball rolling. Because this said, you got expenses, you got to, I get the girl, people call me and ask me, hey, Shelly, what should I charge? Well, honey, what you want to charge and what you're going to get are two different things. Okay. So, but if you get someone that's kind of at least be willing to take a chance every other show or maybe every third show, if they're an active promoter, you know, maybe things will start getting a little better for people, for the new artists.
I think that's where we're stuck,
It's about
Shelly.
negotiation.
It is, but and here we go again. Me, you know, saying, you know, the more I've done this show and the more I get to know club owners, promoters, managers, musicians, like it's not right. It's not right for and I'll just throw, if Michael Salgado is going to go and play somewhere for a certain amount of money, right? And Shelly Lares wants to go. Why would you give a female lesser money? You know what I mean? Like a new artist, a new conjunto starting, you're gonna pay them a certain amount of money, and then a female artist says, "Well, you know what? I want to play. Well, you know what? If you want to play, cool. I'll let you play, but I'm only gonna give you this much."
Yeah, why is that a prerequisite to how much we're gonna make?
No,
simply because we're girls.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where we're stuck. And what Shelly says.
You
is
see, but
correct.
that's where I'm privileged with my partner, because you know he's all about paying fair, and Shelly's worked with him numerous times, and even when we first met, you know, he was like, "What? No, you're an artist. You work for this, and you work like this, and this is what you should be getting." And you know, there's expenses, like Shelly said, and you know, a lot of the times it's because us women don't know. Sometimes we don't have that guidance or that light. We settle because why? We've never been on this stage, or because we don't get this opportunity here, and that changed a lot for me business wise when I got that insight from someone that had been doing it for such a long time.
Yeah.
And another thing is too, you know, you don't get, you know, one of my pet peeves is, and I see it a lot with fans, I see it a lot with promoters. Well, I don't know who they are. Well, there's so much platforms for you to search who they are. Take time and listen. And maybe you'll fall in love with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. I love how they think that their opinion is the only opinion that matters when it comes to our talent.
Right.
Like, I never heard of her. Well, then you should do better.
You should do some research.
Why don't you get yourself
So
in
like,
a
how
little
great of a
bubble
promoter are you?
and
How
see
great of
what
a
the real
DJ
world is
are
like?
you?
Genyva.
Right, they're not used to hearing a woman say no either, like, because they're so used to women being like, "You're lucky." They're so used to like women being in the position, "You're lucky I'm even paying you," or whatever. You know, like I came from the music industry. I actually did it backwards. I was a music industry professional before I was a musician, and I worked for a booking agency in California. And so many times I would hear the agent that I worked for on the phone saying, "Send me your best offer," and I say that all the time to promoters who are like, what's your rate? I'm like, well, my rate is this. And they're like, I can't pay this. I'm like, send me your best. And unfortunately at this point with the place that we're in as a band, 9 times out of 10, we're saying no, like, and they're not used to hearing people say no, and they come back with a better offer.
Yeah.
But they're not used to someone being like, I can't play for that. That doesn't meet with my, I can't live like that.
Nobody wants to take a loss. The venues don't want to take a loss. Well, us bands and musicians don't want to take a loss either.
Yeah,
You know, like
everybody wants to make the big buck.
but for $500
well, not only that, some of us are making. I mean, I not speak for everybody, but as a regular like local musician, okay, when we started out in the '90s, a beer was how much in the '90s?
Probably about $1.25.
And that was like premiums. Yeah. Okay, here we are 20, 30 years later. How much are the beers?
Probably like $2.
Where are you going?
No, sometimes I
what are you drinking and where are you going?
Beers are not $2.
You could get a bucket of beer anywhere in San Antonio for $18.
Okay, cocktails. I'm talking cocktails. I paid like $14 for a cocktail the other day.
Where were you at?
$33 for a freaking pizza. And I'm like, you're charging this much, but you're still paying us the same that you paid us back in 1993. How did those prices go up and ours don't? It didn't make any kind of sense to me. How is the budget
Especially
for
with
music
cities,
the exact same
right?
budget it was in 1993?
You're right. You're
Right,
right.
especially in cities that are growing so quickly, like San Antonio and Austin. The prices to the cost to live in cities like this is growing. It's getting higher and higher. They have to pay musicians like you have to,
I think musicians
make a certain
now,
amount of
all the
money to
musicians I
live.
mean,
Yeah.
they have you don't have the 100%. They're a musician 100% of the time. Like they have daytime jobs,
Yeah.
and this is
Yeah.
to survive. You have a daytime job?
Yeah, my mom, I had the opportunity to come and record when I was 18, right out of high school. And she was like, hell no, you're not. And so she made me go to college. So I went kicking
Which is a
screaming.
great idea.
I was like, you're ruining my life. But I went to college. And,
Hey, Krystal,
I know.
during COVID, don't
Don't make me read these books.
Right. Yep.
I went into HR, so I'm a recruiter, and so I, luckily through the pandemic have been employed and got to work from home, but I
And
also
she
got to help
blessed some other
people
of
get
us
jobs,
too.
in the industry as well.
You see?
So,
See how it works, Genyva?
yeah.
Spreading the love.
Genyva,
Her
you
name
see-
is Krystal.
You see how something you did, though. I mean, how the Lord works. It's crazy. You put these women together. She's part, and then you've been able with that to help other women find, another job in the meantime. So,
Yeah.
hey, somebody's AC just kicked on.
Not only that,
Oh,
some of
mami.
us
It's
have
my
established
viejo.
lifelong friendships.
No, it's my
Like-
viejo. He's calentando su pho.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Su pho.
Super.
It's fun.
It's
Pho or
it's
pho?
pho.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Sufo.
It's fun.
I went to
There's
a pho
a
restaurant
place
in
that
LA
I wanna
called
try-
King Delicious. So it was
King?
King Delicious.
I go to full style.
No, I heard of one that's called fucking long.
Only
I
Shelly
promise.
Lares, dude. Only Shelly
I'm not
Lares can
kidding,
get away
it
with
is.
it.
Man, I love my
Oh
show.
my god.
I'm not kidding. I was like, am I reading that right?
Hillier.
Genyva, on a whole different tangent, right? Do you ever think,
Oops.
if somebody was to come to you and say, hey, Genyva, you know what? I want to do a Christian concert. You think you could pull this off? Not just
Oh,
a
yeah.
song, but maybe grab some of these girls to lay some.
Yeah, we've talked to, I've talked to a couple of the girls about it, and I said, I want to put something together where maybe we can each do 2 or 3 songs, individually, and then close the show with the collab. It's something, I'm definitely, I'm going to start a ministry. This collaboration ended up turning into what we have now as known as the Tejanas Unidas en Christo organization, where any financial gain that's made out of this project, let's just say with merch, we're going to start creating or shows, and of course, sponsors that want to contribute to this project and to the cause. We're going to be doing grants for artist development. I told the girls, even if we sponsor 3 new artists a year to where we can produce them a song, get them a music video, and get them, digital distribution, just to kind of give them that stepping stone into, the genre. That's what we plan on doing. And then we each have different causes that we're passionate about. Like, for example, me as a cancer survivor, and having dealt with almost dying because I didn't have insurance and not being able to get treatment and stuff like that. You have a lot of women that can't afford to get a hysterectomy because they don't have insurance, or they're not from the U.S., or they don't qualify for benefits. And so I want to also, contribute, we can help 1 woman a year or more. It's whatever, God puts in our path to be able to give back. That's what I'm excited about. Like I told the girls, this project is 100% nonprofit on my end. Anything that's made out of it, I want to put it back out into the community. And that's what I'm passionate about. I never had anybody that mentored me. that was there for me to, yes, I had like like inspirations, right? Like Shell, I said, oh my God, I want to be like her. I want to sing like her. And I got to share the stage with her a few months ago, thanks to Mike and Sarah, they invited me, and then Shell invited me on stage. And to me, that was a perfect example of how God answers the desires of your heart. One day I prayed to share the stage with her. 30 years later, there I am singing, No Me Olvides with her. I'm like freaking out. When I got in the car, I was like, oh, I just sang with Shelly Lares, because it was like a dream of mine. So God answers the desires of your heart, but if you don't ask him or pray about it, how is it ever going to happen? So
Right.
even though it was 30 years later, it's proof that when you ask God for something with all your heart, he'll give it to you,
Amen.
I
He'll
think
give it to you.
when you do something, and I'll say this on my aspect, right, of looking at it, when you're doing something from the heart and you're doing something true, stuff like that happens, whether you ask for it or not. Like I know, I understand what you're saying. Like you prayed about it, but I think sometimes when you're doing something from the heart, stuff just falls into place. Like me doing this show, I literally do this show for the love of music, as a fan, a love of my culture. Like literally, I'm not making hundreds and thousands of dollars from doing this show. You know what I mean? I literally just.
But you do an amazing job, and it's.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Yeah. I never in a million years, I tell this people all the time, I never in a million years thought that Shelly Lares should be sitting right here where you are, Crystal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we were doing the interview, and she's on here. Just pretend she's not on here. We were doing the interview, and in the back of my head, I'm like,
holy shit,
homie,
holy
crap. Like, Shelly Lares is sitting next to you. You know what I mean? Being herself, and it literally made me feel like I've known her my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Just down to earth person. Again, Shelly, I'm acting like you're not you're not listening, right?
I know.
But with her
I'm being as real as I can be for the show. It's just a year and a half ago. There's no way in hell that I ever thought somebody like Shelly Lares would come into my home and bless me with her presence to be on a silly show that I started.
And then we start talking about football, and it's like,
yeah, there we go. We got football. Me and Shelly, we got to. But no, man, you're absolutely right, Genyva. I think like you said, with the catering being paid for, like stuff like that happens, man, because you're doing it from your heart, and you guys were all doing it for a good reason. So,
amen.
For the fans watching, man, when I put this up on YouTube on my I have a YouTube page.
You're like the longest show in history.
Yeah, and I do 2 hours. I do 2 hour shows, and people are like, "Yo, Bump, people only watch." I said, "That's fine. They can watch the 15 minutes, and then they'll come back next week and they'll watch the next 15 minutes. Whatever."
There you go.
But I put them on YouTube for people to watch. Here's what I want. I'm for the people listening. I'm gonna put Genyva. You can just send me the list of all the female artists that took part. Now I'm gonna put them all in the title. And if you're a Wacky Wednesday fan, go and look up every single one of these artists.
Yeah.
Watch a video. Go to YouTube. Show them love on
their music page on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like
and share their music page, because you know what? It help. Every little bit helps. To the promoters out there, these women are putting in work just like the men. And again, I'm not just speaking because they're here on the show. If you watch me, you follow me, I preach the same stuff every week. They're out there grinding. You know what I mean? And not to put a it's funny, but I had Sonia de la Paz, and she always comments like, I'll share a picture like, hey, come out to this club. They're gonna be this band, this band, this band.
Never a female.
And there's never a female. First comment,
Sonia.
Puro sausage fest.
I told you. That's what she said.
The sausage fest. So
I told you.
And she's right. She's right. Like, you know what I mean? Why not
So
put
can
two?
I add something to
Yeah,
that?
no, dale.
So like when I was first starting out, so this was like 7, 8 years ago. I remember going to a club that had just opened, and it's sadly no longer in existence. Darn. But I went with my merch, my CD to introduce myself, and the owner was like, "I'm sorry, but who wants to see a female perform here?"
He just said it straight up like that.
So if
I got the
there are
same
any
response too.
promoters
People
out
not like
there
boobs anymore. I don't get it.
that are like that, the promoters that are not like that, be an ally and change their mind and tell them, don't be ignorant, don't be misogynistic, support the women out there, don't bring us down, because it is hard. It is hard.
I'm gonna add to that,
to put
Crystal.
ourselves out there.
I'm gonna add to that because so again, I'm not gonna put names out there, but they were in the process of signing on women on their label. At that time also they were looking for, another artist to manage, and this person, I considered a personal friend, and I would like Shelly says, we're always like one of the guys, because that's all you really get to hang out with, right? One of the guys. And so I'm talking to this individual, and I'm like, come on. And long story short, right, he was just honest. He's like, and he told him like this: way, you have it, you have the talent, you have the voice. He's like, but nobody wants to hear girls. And that's what it was. Like I was like, oh yeah, well, you're gonna hear me, sir. And so
but let me tell you, I mean, I believe with my whole heart, the girls have dominated and held down the fort for the past few years. Because I mean, as far as okay, let me rephrase this. As far as radio, okay, difference between radio and being out there on the road, okay? So they're two different things. It's nice when they're together, right? But they're two different things. But as far as radio, women are really on the charts. They've been dominating the charts. Whereas back in the day, you would hear a female once every 2 hours. That was our airplay, okay? Yeah. Once
Shelly,
every 2 hours.
Shelly, can I give you this? Can I give you this so you can finish it? What about, and I've heard this, right? Yes, you fill up the charts, right? Them girls are filling up the charts. But as a promoter, hey, female A, I love your song. It's on the charts. Can you come play for me? Well, guess what?
I don't have a band,
They
or
don't have a band, or I can't. So there's two sides. There's two sides to the story, but how at the same time I know, like, how can you have a band if you're not giving them any gigs? Well, how can you?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's damn if you do and damn if you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to maintain, but you're in an industry that is not easy. Okay. If you think for 1 minute it's going to be, and that it's not going to be harder than it is easy, then you got to retire from here, do something else, because you have to be prepared, and only the strong survive. And I know it sounds so cliche, very true. Only the strong survive in this industry.
Hey,
and
I
I know
my musicians.
Hey,
no, Anjelique.
Dude, that is
and
I got to put this on here, Shelly. Maybe you can see it when I put this on here.
They've come a long way.
It is funny to me to be. Maybe we need a female promoter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is always funny to me to get to.
But that's what we were talking about. We create our own table. Why do we have to wait for some group of old dudes to give us an opportunity when we can make opportunities for ourselves?
Why is it got to be old dudes?
Because I mean,
it always makes me laugh
shoe
to get
fits.
to a venue. So I'm a very DIY band. I book my band. I do all the talent buying. I settle at the end of the night. It always makes me laugh when we get to a venue and the promoter or whoever our day of show contact is like, well, who advanced the show? I'm like, I advanced the show. And they're like, well, who do we talk to about on stage needs? I'm like, you talk to me. And they're like, okay, who do we settle with? I'm like, you talk to me. And they're like, well, is there someone who handles this for you? I'm like, it's me and it's those guys. You can go talk to one of those guys, but they're just gonna come and ask me what to do.
Yeah,
You can talk.
they're
You
gonna
can go
say,
through me, and they're
duh,
always
duh,
like,
duh.
it's always funny to watch them like leave scratching their head, like,
Yeah.
she just did all of that. Yeah, I just did all of that because the expectation has always been for myself, at least, is that like no one's gonna look out for me like me.
Hey,
Yeah, you know.
I'm hyped about that comment. I'm really hyped about that. I think there's somebody out there that could do this. If you're a
Yeah.
female out there, like, you just gotta find one investor. You just gotta show them, like, hey, you give me a little bit of money, I'll bring you back some money, and I'll make me a little bit of money. You know what I mean? Like, it just takes one. So if you're a female
Well,
out there,
I
and you,
think there are some female promoters out there, but they're still just hiring guys as well. Like if you have to be a part of the solution and not continue and perpetuate the issues and the problems.
Yeah.
True.
Because we're all stuck living in this mindset from the dark ages, and it's just not like that anymore. It really isn't. Like if you really think about it, like Shelly was saying, with the world that Shelly had to fight for and come through, kicking and screaming, there's a lot more opportunities for us today than there were back then. And we need to just take those opportunities and friggin' run with them and just not give a care about what anybody thinks. Just do it. Don't be scared to put that project out. I learned that from Shelly. Told me, she was like, why are you hesitant to release a single? And I was like, man, I don't know. What if they don't like it? What if they don't like me? What if?
And what I
she
say?
was like, shut up, Rebecca. Just do the thing.
just do
And
the
I
damn
did
thing.
it.
That's it.
And I did
That's
it.
it.
Dale
It's
play.
not always gonna hit, but at least it's mine, and I could say I did that. I closed my eyes and I jumped.
Ladies, I could sit here for another 2 hours and easily speak to every single one. So with that being said, though, everybody has my email now because I sent you the link. And you know, if you ever want to come on the show, a one-on-one,
You need to download an app where we can bring all 25 of us on next time.
Bam.
There you
Well,
go, then.
well, how about I'll go get a church hall. I'll get a sound guy to help me out. We'll set up 25 mics.
Yeah.
And we'll just do a live interview, and I'll keep my 6 feet apart from everybody, and I don't know, but no,
I wanna send a shout out to Myra D. She does all my she distributes all my music. You know, she's been, you know, one of my biggest supporters since I started. You know, I haven't been doing any shows because honestly, like, I'm not gonna pay for free anymore. I already did that. You know what I mean? A lot of people think, well, you don't perform anywhere. Well, I have a band. I'm just not gonna go play for $200 anymore for free like I used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right now, the plans are we're gonna do a virtual concert. I'm gonna put it out there, set a price, and that way they could see what we have to offer. The thing though about it is that in a lot of events right now, they don't give. I consider myself a new artist because I've been out of the scene for a while, right? With the exception of this new collab that I did. But you know, they want to invite you to play for free or to play for $200, and then they want to put you at 2 p.m. when nobody's there. You know what I mean? I think that if some of the events would say, okay, well, before the headliner, we're gonna give this new artist a shot. You know, I think that's the only way that these artists are gonna start getting more recognition, because one, if the stations aren't playing your music because it's not their style, how are you ever gonna get gigs if they're not hearing your music? You know, so I feel that they just need to give everybody a shot. You know, I've always been accused of, you know, just playing too many ballads. Well, that's my style. You know what I mean? Like, that's me. We all have a certain style that we like. I already did the cumbias, I already did the rancheras, and they still didn't support me then. So now that I'm actually doing what I like, you know, some stations are supporting me, some are not. You know, and that's just something we have to deal with, right? But
Yep.
you know, all we ask is for an opportunity. If we send you something, listen to it and give it a shot. Of course it has to meet, you know, certain requirements, right? If the sound isn't good, well, they're not going to play it. But I think that if artists like myself and Shelly and, you know, all these girls, they're thinking outside the box. Just give everybody a shot, you know, let the people decide whether they like it or not.
I think people that are doing people who are doing stuff like I'm doing and a lot of internet radios, I think that plays in y'all's favor. because they have nobody to answer to, right? These guys can spin whatever they want, and you know what I mean. They have nobody to say, hey, that's not that. Hey, you don't tell me, it's my station. I'm gonna play what I want. You know what I mean? They're not so they don't need the sponsorship, right? They're not looking for that stuff.
Yeah.
But again, girls, I really I am behind you guys 110%.
Thank you.
I back you guys up in everything that you're doing, and every single one of you deserve to sit here one-on-one with me at one point in time, maybe this year, and you know, just talk and talk about your story. I know this is a hard for some of you. Spoke a lot, some of you didn't. I mean, it's a very hard platform with having multiple people on here, but every single one of you have a story, and that's what I love about, you know, bringing to the fans is a story. Shelly's story of, you know, being young, coming in to the industry and now hanging up her gloves. Like, you know, a lot of people, it hurts. It not in a bad way, but you know, we're happy.
Don't do it.
We're happy.
Please
We're happy
don't
for
go.
her. We're happy for her, but at the same time, as a fan, it's like, man, that sucks. Shelly's gonna hang it up.
Hey, Shell, when is your gospel project going to be released?
I'm going to start, I hope to start production on it the end of February, early March.
Oh, snap.
So I'm going to start, I have written a few Christian songs that I've had since 2010. But like we talked about, it's all in God's time.
Is it all going to be in Spanish or English, bilingual?
Both. It's going to be bilingual. It's going to be bilingual, and it's not going to be a certain style. It's of my, as far as but it's not the same.
Can I be on it?
RE on live. Can I be on it?
Can I be on it? Hey, can I be on it? Angelique, when does your project come out? You said you got English cumbias, correct?
I do. January 30th is the set date that we're looking at.
Yay!
It's just for you. See? A godsend right there.
Divine appointment.
Yep.
You know what, Angelique? You're going to get a lot of younger fans with that, because in July we played Houston and we did a Dua Lipa English song, and we did it cumbia style. Mm-hmm. And finally, I felt validated because my 11-year-old was like, wow, Mom, I finally like your Tejano music. And I was like,
yeah.
Well, I'm spoiled.
Whatever it takes, whatever it takes, man, whatever it takes. But
I'm spoiled, and Angelique already let me hear it, so it is.
Good.
Awesome.
Nice.
I just did an English
Inbox me,
song with
Angelique. I want to
Ram,
hear it.
and it's a
Yes.
Dang, that's gonna be
Sweet.
awesome, Rebecca.
Sweet.
is it out yet?
It's not out yet. It needs
Literally
to be tweaked.
this week, right?
It needs
You
to be
just
tweaked.
recorded
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
It's kind of like a country western cumbia.
fun.
You see what I mean? That's what I mean, guys. Are pushing the envelope, and you ain't scared to do it.
I'm
So-
scared. But I'm still gonna do it.
Nah, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, you guys are doing it. You're not gonna let nothing stop you guys.
But you have to. You
No.
gotta do that. Yeah.
Crystal, what's up?
Well-
you got any shout outs or anything before?
no.
No shout outs. Well, I want to give everybody a chance before I hang it up.
I think. Oh, you know what? Carlos.
My phone
from
died.
Little Joe's band. He did a shout out on the.
On the thingy dingity.
So he's engaged to my cousin now.
No way.
Who is this again?
Nice.
From Little
Oh.
Joe's band.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, Carlos. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Have
yes,
you
yes.
met Sophia?
I have.
That's my cousin. I set them up. So I
Oh
am
my
I'm
God.
the maid of honor and the best
Matchmaker.
man. So I
Bam.
said that I'm showing up like half tuxedo, half dress.
What?
Yeah.
No, man.
Oh my gosh.
I was
Yeah.
for it.
He's cool guy,
I totally
man.
would though.
Cool guy.
He is.
Cool, humble guy, man.
But yeah.
Beck?
I have a
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna jump in and say I have an original EP coming out in the summer of this year, and it's Bitty Bitty Bun is all Selena songs. We only do Selena songs, but we are recording our first ever original song this year.
Yes,
Yeah.
let her go. There you
Yeah,
go.
we're really excited about it, and everyone in the band's it's gonna be a co-write, and like we're gonna split it. There's 6 people in the band. We're gonna split it 6 ways, and we're really excited about it. And to Shelly's point about being on the road, like we hear people say all kinds of things about us being a tribute band all the time, but what I do have in my corner is 8 years of being on the road all across the country, and there's nothing can replace that. So anyway, I'm excited. We have I have
You
a
do
full length
you,
EP
girl.
coming.
I love it.
You do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
You do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, Anjelique, you have anybody you want to send a shout out before we say goodnight?
Well, to not anybody in particular, to Myra D, as well. She's now promoting my music, Cielo Entertainment artist, and to Zarabla Entertainment, who is my husband, who backs us, is part of Sweet City. He manages, runs, plays in Sweet City Band. He does it all. Hasta he me compra me dinner and everything.
Se pone casa.
She got him.
Yes.
Hey, there's a difference between buying dinner and making dinner, though.
Yeah, sometimes I prefer if they
Let
just
him buy it. Let him buy it.
Let him buy it. Yeah. I've been down that road. I don't.
Yes.
Shelly, do you have any shout outs you want to say before we say goodnight?
Well, I wanna say hi to my little mama. She's watching. My mom, of course, my rock, she's
Hi,
always
Miss
and still she's not anymore. She's retired, but still be in the office and still run things by each other. And I want to send in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They're mostly waiting for my band as well as showcase with the girls and Torres, Sonia de las Demmi Garcia, and Monique. Will be band will be picking them up for the show at the Mexican Fiesta in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. August.
I'm looking
Be a great
forward
show.
to that.
But thank you, Bumper Man. It's always fun talking to you, brother. Thank you to Genyva again for having us here, and
Thank you,
my
Genyva.
musical sisters. Thanks to the Tejano fans. This is my last year. I'm being very selective with my shows, so I'm not going to be on the road every single weekend, but I think I've earned the right to not have to do that anymore.
Hell yeah.
So
And the price
my
just jumped
love-
up 4 times. She needs 6 times what she made before. 6 times what she made before.
not the same. My and 50% is to each girl out there on this project, okay? And artists. My door is always open for any advice, anything that I can do in any way, shape, or form to help or mentor. But it's in good hands. I'm all.
Heck yeah. And before I go to Genyva, I'm gonna go to Rebecca because we skipped over her.
No, you didn't. Oh.
You have any shout outs?
Just shout out to my husband and my babies, and just thank them for being patient with me. And I know that it's been, for all of us, it's been a rough, I don't know how many years already. I'm over it. I just want it to go back to normal again. But at least this time around, I know that I have support from my newfound sisters. And I've used that. I have utilized that gift on multiple occasions, and I just want to thank Genyva for putting this project together, for giving us that opportunity to support one another and not pitting us against each other.
No, definitely. And with that being said, before I say goodnight to everybody, Genyva, I'm going to give you the floor because you're the mastermind behind this beautiful, beautiful project. So the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having us on your show and giving us the opportunity to talk a little bit more about, how this came to be. And I want to thank, all the program directors that have supported not only Tejanas, Unidas, and Christo, but each and every one of the girls that are part of this project. I want to thank my Dee for, all her hard work with all the scale entertainment artists and even helping artists that aren't part of the entertainment company. She always helps everybody that she can out, so I'm blessed to be part of that team. I want to thank, my father, my husband, my girls, and, just, God more than anything for making that truck turn around, that night that I wanted to, call it quits, right? But if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here right now. Ooh, sorry. I wouldn't be here right now. So I thank him, and again, blessed to have worked with each one of these girls. To all the girls that couldn't get on the video call, thank you again from the bottom of my heart. And I just ask the people to just open their heart, go to YouTube, check out the music video, Aquí Estás, by Tejanas, Unidas, and Christo. Share it with whoever you feel needs inspiration, needs hope. We all need, this music is medicine. And we created this song for you. All we ask is that you give us the opportunity to come into your heart, into your home, into your cars, and support us by going to our pages, downloading our music. Again, thank you so much, Bumper, for having us on your show.
No, thank you guys for your presence. And for me, man, all I ask is you guys share the show as much as you can. Again, I'm just trying to do my part, my little corner of keeping our music relevant and keeping it going, keeping our culture going. Ladies, again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for coming onto the show. And I look forward to everything new coming out. To the Wacky Wednesday fans, please, please, please back these ladies up, man. Download the music, do what you got to do. They're coming to a show. Show them love. Let those promoters know that, hey, these girls can bring anybody, just as many people as a male artist. You know what I mean? So next week on the show, speaking of male artists, right? Here we go. Next week on Wacky Wednesday, in the studio, I'm going to have the OG original Grupo Metal. Grupo Metal.
Those schmucks.
Yeah, those guys will be in the studio. So it's going to be a pretty cool show. So they'll be here. And again, thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming in. And
Thanks, Bumper.
yeah,
There's a little man. There's a little man right there. There he is.
Can you say bye-bye, everybody?
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
So, ladies, with that being said, we're gonna close again with the beautiful song. You know what I mean? You guys feel free to sign off.
Do you have the music video, Bumper?
I do not. Well, you know what? Can I share my screen?
That'd be cool.
Good question.
Let's see if I can. Hey, but everybody's gonna. Never mind.
Hey, you can do it, Bumper.
Don't be showing that.
Do it. Siempre estás logrando.
Man, how do I share?
Siempre
All right.
Ladies, you're gonna be mad.
Don't tell me bad news.
Just play the
Bumper.
song. It's okay.
I
Don't.
can't.
I'm gonna call you Bummer instead of Bumper.
I'm gonna make this a point that I learn how to do this tonight before I go to bed. I'm gonna learn how to share my screen. So,
all right.
Again, ladies, thank you guys so much. We're gonna end with this. We'll hey, it's not a video, but hey,
It's
look
beautiful.
at all the beautiful faces there, right?
It's a picture.
You guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. Stay warm. Make sure you turn your heaters on tonight.
Yeah. Bring that stray cat in.
Because it's going to get cold.
Yeah.
Bring your husbands in.
Yeah. No.
Love you,
Thank
girls.
you, ladies.
Bye,
Love you guys.
Bye, girls.
Y'all be good.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, another episode of Bumper's Wacky Wednesday. Tejanas Unidas. Make sure you download. Check them out on YouTube. The video is wonderful. That's his first audio, right?
Debemos mover, te adoraré, te adoraré. luz en tinieblas, mi Dios, así eres tú. Milagroso, abres caminos, cumples promesas, luz en tinieblas, mi Dios, así eres tú, así eres tú. 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 Milagroso, abres caminos, cumples promesas, luz en tinieblas, mi Dios, así eres tú. Milagroso, abres caminos, cumples promesas, luz en tinieblas, mi Dios, así eres tú. Aunque no pueda ver, estás sobrando. Aunque no pueda ver, estás sobrando. Siempre estás sobrando. Siempre estás sobrando. Aunque no pueda ver, estás sobrando. Aunque no pueda ver, estás sobrando. Siempre estás sobrando. Siempre estás sobrando. Aunque no puedo ver, aunque no pueda ver, estás sobrando. Siempre estás sobrando. Milagroso, abres caminos, cumples promesas, luz en tinieblas, mi Dios, así eres tú.